Utterly Insane Productions brings you the Insane Asylum with Mark and Joe. You never know what they'll say next or who they might offend.
Well, you did do the intro.
You have been warned. Oh, this is us. All right, you ready?
It's already up.
Okay. Hello, we're live, and this is the Insane Asylum.
I don't know if we're actually live. I think he's the Walking Dead.
He's the insane one, though. Today we're going to do a special alert. We're going to do a show on whether or not humans were aliens planted here. We'll get
that's getting postponed till next weekend.
Right.
Hi,
Somebody has a rant that
I have
issue that happened.
An issue to grind and a rant to rave about.
An axe to grind.
That's the ticket. That's
but of
the
course,
word.
that axe you kind of want to embed in somebody's head.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not a violent person. So here's what
people
happened.
like this make you want to be violent.
Without saying names, I'm going to try to tell you a story an experience that I had with a dog recently, and someone that should have never owned this dog. Okay. No, now you got to have that go in there. Oh, we're gonna have an echo.
Just turn it up.
I know you muted it.
Whatever.
Anyway, it was
Hi, Jen.
Wednesday, I think it was. My cousin contacted me, asked me if I could find a home for this beautiful, and after having beautiful, I think he was about a 3-year-old husky, Siberian husky, purebred Siberian husky.
Well, I say he looked more like a 2-year-old.
Okay, maybe. I mean, he was still all puppy, literally, right?
And he was a male. So.
All right. So this dog was this lady. My cousin told me this lady was gonna just let him out in the woods if he didn't pay $50 for the Humane Society to come take this dog away, or she was gonna let him out in the woods somewhere out in the wild, way out in the country. Well, me being a person that I don't like that's animal cruelty. I did my best. Thought I had found a home for this dog. I went through hell, but it was like a huge team effort.
No, the dog is neutered.
The dog was neutered.
He had his shots.
He had all his shots. He was chipped, and he was very lovable, very friendly.
Loves kids.
He was a 100% Siberian Husky. One of his eyes were very unique. I didn't get to notice it too well, but my wife did. It was half of his eye was ice blue, and the other half of one of his eyes was that same eye was brown. So it was like his one eye was blue and brown, and then the other one was ice blue. So it was really, really cool.
Very unique dog.
But he was a very lovable boy. His name was Major. He had all the really cool. Well, his name is Major.
Talking about him in the past tense.
That's because I don't have him here anymore. Anyway, we started out. We had a home for him, and that fell through right away before we even left.
Yep.
Okay, and he was just being a jerk.
Oh, idiots.
Yeah, idiots. I don't.
Things weren't going his way.
You know, no amount of duct tape would have fixed the stupidity that I went through this week with other people. Yeah, and not their stupidity. Okay, I had to correct that because I knew you'd come up with a wisecrack.
Anyway, keep going with the
So,
story.
I contacted a friend of mine that I hadn't talked to, in 30 years, but he was a friend on Facebook, and he calls me from Texas because he was flying back home to Wisconsin from Texas. And
For the holidays?
no, he lives here. He was working in Texas. He was on a job site.
He was installing something.
I want to get him on the show because he builds gun cases for sporting, and the gun case he built was like over $1 million gun case. gun display case in this one store. He was showing me pictures of it on his cell phone. I can't remember the name of the store either. He was, anyway. So he knew somebody that lived alone and really wanted this dog, and she had dogs before.
She was actually dog sitting his dog while he was in Texas.
Yeah, at her place. So anyway, I went and picked up the dog because we had this all lined up. He's like, calls me from Texas and said it was a done deal. She wants the dog. She saw the pictures. I talked to her on the phone. I thought it was going to be a good fit. She was a little nervous because she hadn't had a dog in a while. And so it was all a done deal. So we had a home for this dog, right? And I'm going, okay, cool. This is going to work out great. So we go and pick up the dog. Now, here's where the story goes bad. Okay. I go, and I've never seen so much stupidity. I go to my cousin's house. We talked for a little bit because we had to wait for the lady to get done doing whatever she was doing. And, anyway, we're not going to get into that. Anyway, so we go over there, and she's got 2 kids. And one of the first things she said to me was this, and I quote, "He was my dream dog. And I just had to have him." She never owned a dog before. She didn't do any research. She knew nothing about the breed. And she was also packing up and moving. So apparently she couldn't have the dog anymore. But she paid $150 in Arizona or something like that from a shelter to adopt this dog. Buys a $150 bed, and all of this stuff. And she's feeding it shit food. And what I mean by shit food is I'm talking about those brands, and I'm not going to name any of the brands, but the brands that don't use your real ingredients. They use, what did you say that was earlier, Mark?
Byproducts.
Or food colorings or preservatives, or, when I look at it and pick up dog food, it's all like 100% real ingredients, chicken, beef, green beans, peas, carrots.
Few ingredients have to be meat.
Yeah, right.
Some kind of meat.
Especially for a husky.
Or vegetables.
Especially for a husky. So anyway, so she's a first-time dog owner, and this is my other problem. First-time dog owners should not ever get a husky. You need to be experienced with these dogs first, because for one thing, I'm telling you right now, they're high maintenance. And they love to run. You got to be more prepared than just bringing home some wiener dog or some little lap dog. This dog requires a lot of exercise and a lot of running space and a lot of attention and a lot of care. You have to brush that coat on a daily basis, or at least a couple times a week at the very least.
I'm being quiet in this mess because these 2 are the ones that dealt with it. I actually didn't get to participate in much of any of it.
Yeah, you would have.
You would have felt.
I had to take care of.
You would have fell in love with him.
He might have ended up in prison.
And after what was told to me, I may have wound up in jail.
Because, first of all, that's the other thing. You don't just release a dog in the wild. There's enough cats already like that.
Anyway, let's finish. Let's come to the good ending.
So anyway, we get over there and I find all this stupid stuff. She's got a little tiny bowl. She's got bowls made for small dogs.
Yeah.
And she was only filling that once a day.
Which with a husky you can't. You got.
That bowl's got to be a bigger bowl.
We leave the food in there all day long. She eats when she wants to eat. If she don't want to eat, she don't eat. She's the type of dog that does not go and gorge herself.
I don't think she bathed the dog while she had it. The coat was all matty in some places, like it got spilt Kool-Aid on. She had to take that dog for a walk. It should have had a lot more muscle tone to it. But he was a very lovable puppy. He's a very lovable puppy. I would have kept him myself. But anyway, I'll get to that. So we picked him up, and because we had a third person with us. He sat in the back seat with Major, and he loved car rides. Oh, he
my
loved
God,
that car
that's
ride. He totally loved the car rides.
At one point,
He-
he jumped in the front seat with Joe, and I got
Yeah.
a picture of it. It is a beautiful picture.
He jumped in the front seat. We were in a residential zone, so it was only like, we were going 20, 25 miles an hour in that area, just starting out. We hadn't even barely left. We were still on the same block. And he jumped right in my lap, in the front seat, and stuck his head completely out the window. And he got that dog flapping look with with the jaws flapping because of, but that didn't happen until I looked out and I saw that out the back window because he was like, because that's when because we had the speed up there, so that happened. But he really loves that. It's like he was like Nitro and really enjoys car rides.
Yes.
So this dog was extremely lovable. He loved people, he loved kids, he was adorable, but he wasn't very well taken care of, and that pissed me off. And it also pissed me off that somebody was going to let that dog go in a while.
When you were talking about how she was caring for the dog, Jen goes, OMG.
Yep.
So
Anyway,
anyway,
that was it.
So
How many dogs you got now, Jen? 4 or 3?
So now here's an example of a smart person, okay, when it comes to like trying to get a new dog. This woman lived alone. I'm not going to mention her name, but she lived alone. She's a friend of her friends, and somewhere along the line she knew me.
She said she has 3.
So they only got 1.
We met Randy at the airport with him, and I switched with Randy, and he had an SUV, so Major rode in the back of the SUV.
He had a little
and just
trouble
loved
getting
it.
up in the back. I had to help him.
Yeah, because
He gets his front paws up there and he's sniffing, and
he had a little bit of a high profile on his SUV, but he had the back seat down, so Major had all that back room.
That's because that's where his dog hung out when he was
Yeah, there was
driving.
blankets and pillows and stuff back there, already. So he loved it. He loved the ride. He was laying on his back, hoping to get a belly rub, a reach back, a reach around. But anyway, we get to this lady's house, and it was her apartment, and that made me nervous because you don't want to do that. But when we met her, she fell in love with him, and he fell in love with her a little bit, and he sniffed around, and we got to talking. Now, this is a sign of a smart person looking for a dog. She came to the conclusion that she did not, and here's the other thing. I also had a backup in mind, and I'm going to give a shout out to those people too, because they deserve a shout out for that help.
Take a quick pause.
Okay.
My niece Jen, right here.
Yes.
She's expressing the fact that she is a knowledgeable and good dog owner, because right now they have 3, and they did have 4.
But you got one up on him. Anybody's got one up in him.
The one
No, I'm just kidding.
was
He's
smaller.
a good guy.
It was smaller, but it didn't like the little ones.
Yeah.
So they found a home
Yeah.
with the neighbors who are older,
Right. An older couple.
and the dog's happy there.
Oh yeah.
Which is cool because then they can still go and see her.
So.
Yep.
So let's get back to this before my train derails. So
Well, I wasn't trying to derail
I know,
your
but I
train.
got back
I
up
was
for this
making-
train.
I was making a point.
Yeah, right.
Well, I am going to get you a maglev
We'll get back to
train,
that.
a maglev train instead, because they're on T-tracks and they don't derail.
Yeah.
Okay, back to this lady.
Okay.
So we get there, and she realizes, one, her place is way too small,
Oh, you should have seen him exploring it. He was going all over every room
and he was
checking it out.
being careful too,
Yes.
checking things up.
He was
She had
smelling.
breakables all over.
Yeah.
He was a really good boy. He had manners. He had
Yeah,
manners.
even though Jeff said he didn't, he had manners.
He had manners.
You just had to know
So-
to recognize him.
So anyway, he also knew his name. He also learned. He knew how to sit. He knows how to shake paws, and all that good stuff. That dog should know how to do. He knows how to lay down.
Some sort of sense to teach him a few things.
I think
Yeah.
that was before the lady that got him, because I don't think she had him very long. So
Well,
Anyway.
she also had 3 kids. Why couldn't the kids take him for a walk? He never got to go for a walk.
they
while
would have
she had him.
never. I don't think those 3, none of those kids would have been able to handle that dog. They would have, think about how, but anyway, let's get on with this, okay? All right, and then you can get to opinions.
Yeah, they are extremely
Then you
smart.
can get to opinions, okay, about things. We'll let you have your 2 cents. But anyway, so as we're sitting there talking, she heartbrokenly came to the conclusion that she couldn't keep him, and
she
I
wasn't going to be able to.
right. And I told her that because at the last minute, when my buddy Randy turned around and said, "Okay, I got a home for him," okay, and I said, "Okay," right when all of this was happening, my buddy Tom from Off the Rails. And thank you, Tom, again. I already did him. I sent him a personal message about this.
Yep.
Okay, because there's a
A lot
whole.
of people that we know.
What happened here was a big, huge team effort. Okay.
It wasn't just 2 people. It was
So now
about 10.
I told her not to worry, because she felt bad, and I told her not to worry that we had another possible good
We had a backup
home for her.
plan.
We had a
She
backup
has
plan.
kids, that's why she can help.
So we had this backup plan, but unfortunately, it was getting late. It was about 11 o'clock at night at this point, and we're in Madison, okay? And I live in Watertown. That's an hour drive, okay? So by the time we got home, it was midnight. So there was no chance for contacting our backup at that hour, okay? That would have been rude. So anyway, so we had no choice but to keep Major here. So here's what happens. Tanya had Chris bring Joy out, and
No, actually, I brought Joy out.
oh, you brought Joy out, and Chris had a.
rescued Major from
All
you.
right. So anyway, Joy turned into a royal bitch. Now, all you people that have watched us in the past, you have seen Joy. Timber Joy is a almost 3-year-old Siberian Husky.
Cool.
She's not fixed, but she's very temperamental about her yard and her house. Okay.
And her people.
And her people. She's been with us.
And she's very vocal too.
She's been with us since she was about 8 months old. Is that right?
7.
7? Okay, so I was a month off. But still, that's a long time for her. She's been very attached to us, especially Mama over there. Anyway,
Yes.
so Joy didn't like Major, so we had to keep them separated until 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon.
That's a long ass time.
And it was pure hell.
It was a group effort.
It was a group effort because we kept switching them. I'd have
outside.
one in a room with me, and then the other one would have the run of the house and be with Tanya, and then we'd keep switching them back and forth like that, and then switching them back and forth so that they could go outside. Because they did get loose once, and Joy went into attack mode to make sure that she stayed her place in the.
Well, you also got to
ranks
figure. You also got to figure she isn't fixed.
Right.
She's never.
At that point,
She's
Major,
never been mounted.
and Major tried to mount her at that point.
And that's when
loose.
she turned into a royal bitch.
Or she got loose, because she got loose from
She
me.
got loose, and I had him. And that's one reason why she turned into a bitch is because he tried mounting her,
Yep.
and she didn't like it.
Yep.
She turned around and started attacking him and growling at him.
Yep.
If we would have left them, Joy would have been hurt.
Yeah.
Because she is the weaker dog.
Well, yeah, he was stronger by far, because I
So
tell
we
that by walking
we
him.
got them separated and calmed both of them down. But Major did get away from us a couple times.
Yeah. And,
He's a little Houdini.
Yeah, well, most Siberian are, and he took me for a run to the point where I thought I was going to die because I couldn't breathe when I got back here because I couldn't stop him. He was very strong. He was a lot stronger walking, but he didn't want to walk. He wanted to run.
Yeah.
But anyway, we got him back here. We made it through that whole hell. Nobody got any sleep, maybe 2 hours at the most, because there was a lot of whining and a lot of scratching on doors.
Yeah, look at our door over here.
And
That's from Major.
that's from Major. That's all from Major. Joy didn't scratch on the doors at all. Maybe a little bit.
One time he did get out of his collar when he was outside.
And
it was nighttime, and funny because I was really, really upset because I was the one that put him out. I was the one that noticed that he got away. I went outside. I grabbed his collar from the lead that we had him on. I started walking around calling his name. Next thing I know, he's running, charging towards me. And I'm like, oh. So he came back. He knows his name.
Yeah.
The second time he got away, the lady had a harness for him because the collar was too. I adjusted the collar, but I think I adjusted too tight. But she did have a harness for him. I put the harness on him after that and tied him up that way. Well, the little Houdini got out of that harness. That's because the harness was too big. Even it's adjusted totally as far as you can adjust it, and it was too big. He got out of it. I took the harness and I did the same thing. I saw him across the pond because it was daylight at this time. I called his name. He looked at me. I called for him again. He told me, come on. And he started charging for me again. I had to stop a car so that he wouldn't get hit.
Yeah.
So we got him back that time. And the funny thing is, we got him back quicker than we could get our own dog back because she runs all over. We had to take the car to get her.
Yeah.
We had to take the car and open it up and say, come on, let's go for a ride. And so, yeah,
Well, obviously somebody trained him a little bit because...
Yeah. And I think that was
course,
before
he
got
that he was a rescue dog from Arizona.
Yeah, he was a rescue dog to begin
Yeah,
with.
he was in a dog shelter down there.
Had it, huh?
He was in a dog shelter down there.
Because he was rescued from something.
So, most likely somebody or the person that had him down there
Had to train him somewhat.
some training.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he
Arizona, I'm
well, that
sorry
was,
to say
that
though,
was an obvious
but
sign of
the
some
desert,
training. He was a smart dog, and he had been trained.
But the desert area down there, that is not a good
Well, no, it wasn't.
It's too
environment
hot.
for a Siberian
And
husky.
that's
too
probably what
hot.
happened is somebody was neglecting it, not giving him enough water, and he got taken to the vet because of dehydration or something, and
Yeah.
somebody turned him in,
It could be.
and then he got the dog taken away from him. So that would be a perfect example to get a dog taken away from you.
But the whole thing is,
You know,
you seen what Lisa put, right?
Yeah.
Even though I live in an apartment, if we could have had a dog, this whole mess would have been avoided.
so now, anyway,
Yeah,
back to
because
the
we could have
Friday.
just dropped him off by you.
All you would have to do is call me. And
Oh, yeah, I know.
like
I knew that. And he would have been the perfect home because he would have been just as spoiled as Max was.
Yep.
And Max
Or
was
more.
one spoiled puppy.
Or more.
Yes,
Anyway,
Max was a spoiled puppy.
But anyway, Friday, we
yesterday.
left for the person that Tom told us that hooked us with, Jacob. I'm not going to say last names, but anyway, Tom there from Off the Rails and Molly was a big help in this. This was a team effort to do
Yeah.
this. This
Real
was a
big team
huge
effort.
team effort. So we get down
A
there,
lot of people that
we take the car
For
ride,
one dog,
and again,
but he was worth it.
Major loved that car ride. Oh my God, did he love that car ride?
And this time we did not have anybody in the back with him
And he was a little
I
Houdini
remember
because we
it
had
takes
that.
a village.
to grow. Yeah, it takes a village to bring up a child. It
Oh.
also takes a village for pets.
So anyway, so we got him to this place. He wasn't quite there yet, but his girlfriend was. She come out, saw him. All of a sudden, she's like, "Oh,
She went back in, got the probably a 6-month-old child that they had. She had it bundled up in that. He jumped up on her and gave that child a kiss.
And he was
So-
careful about it too.
Yep. Very careful.
Had that instinct like Joy, where he was careful around kids. Then when he pulled up about 5-10 minutes later or whatever it was, I don't think we had to wait that long. He pulled up and he got out, met him, he jumped up on him and stuff. He told him, he got down. And he goes in the house and they let the dogs out. They had 2 other dogs. And what were they? Do you know? I don't know, but they were smaller. They were.
One was young. One was kind of like a young one. The other one
was
an
still a
older
puppy, and one
yeah.
was a little bit of an older dog.
Yeah.
And they got along pretty well. I mean, they got along better because he didn't get along with Randy's dog too well either.
No.
So, and Jeff said that he didn't get along with his dog either, but he got along with these two dogs real well.
Yep.
He made friends with them right away. They made friends, and he's got a big backyard with a little river running through it. Almost like an acre plus. Backyard.
1.25 acres.
I mean, this dog is going to be one happy dog now.
That's fine.
And they said that they're going to give it a week, and if it doesn't work out, they're going to find him a suitable home. And this guy's had huskies before too.
In fact, he still has one, but the husky is at his dad's house.
Mm-hmm.
So he actually has now word of
Well,
it.
it's his dad's husky now,
But it's-
basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
used
But yeah,
to have a Malamute.
They said they were going to foster him, and if it works out, they'll go
After a
keep him.
week, yep, they're going to keep him.
And
Adopt
if
him.
not, they will find him a very good home, and they will let us know what
But
happens.
it was kind of hard to let him go a little bit too, because if he would have gotten along with Joy, he might have still been here.
Yep.
It was a hard decision.
I just wished I would have been in a position where I was.
Yeah.
I wish you would have
having
been
a
too,
dog,
because
because
he's a
I
beautiful
was
dog.
thinking,
He's a beautiful dog. We're gonna have to get those
I'm not-
pictures uploaded for this too.
I like
before
no,
Monday, so I can
okay, I like huskies.
add them to the.
I'm just not that into them like you guys are.
Yeah.
I mean, they're beautiful dogs. They're fun dogs. They're
High maintenance dogs.
Especially Joy. She's a freaking sassy little bitch.
Nitro was a good dog
But she's
too.
a lovable dog.
Yeah, she is. Very.
They are.
And the thing I like about huskies, they're a pack dog. They're
Yeah.
not a loner.
They attach themselves
They
to the
are
whole
a pack
family.
dog. So whenever you have a husky and you're a family like that, that husky understands that its position is to protect the pack and to take care of the young ones. So if you have young ones, that
Oh, yeah,
husky will be taken care
When we
of.
got the
and
grandkids
not
here, she's
have
constantly keeping an
issues.
eye on them.
But they are not for first-time dog owners.
No,
Hi, Cameron.
they are not for first-time dog owners. You do not get a husky if you're a
Yeah,
first-time dog owner.
huskies because of the
I don't
fact
care
that
if it's
they're
a Siberian, a Siberian husky like I have, or an Alaskan Malamute. You do not get them
Well,
as
the
a first
Malamute
time.
is a type of
a
husky,
dog
but
owner.
it is also a different breed.
Yeah,
but
an Alaskan Malamute,
no.
Siberian husky. You don't
You don't
get as a
ever
first-time dog owner.
have a husky on your first experience with a dog
You don't shave huskies
because
either.
of the fact that they are such a high maintenance dog, and there's a lot to be taken care of with them.
And people that turn around and shave their huskies,
Hi, Molly.
they ought to be shot.
Molly's on.
Because huskies should
Hi,
never be
Molly.
shaved because they have a double dense fur coat and you'll ruin it. You'll ruin their
Well,
coat.
it's not just that. Huskies are
They're
they
built for cold
Well,
temperatures.
Huskies also they have a tendency, if they're in an environment that's a little too warm for them, they will actually shed their
Yeah, they
overcoat.
molt.
They will.
It's molting.
Yes,
It's
they
like a
will.
form of
They
molting.
will. They will shed that overcoat,
But
that
they
extra coat that they have, because of the breed that they are. With that extra coat, it's for the
Right.
cold weather.
During the summer, our house is completely white.
During the summer, we have if you gathered up all of the hair,
From
you would
Joy.
have 2 extra joints.
Yes.
Yeah, they what they do is they have a summer coat and a winter coat. They shed
Hi,
it by
Tom.
seasons. They shed their
Tom's
coats by
there, too.
season. Hey Tom, hey Molly.
Hi, Tom.
Thank you,
Now's
guys.
your chance.
Thank you guys again for all the help. Finding
We
Major
really
a
appreciate it.
wonderful home.
That place is beautiful, actually. Even though we were there at night, we could see some of it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that
He's
place
gonna
he's at is
He's gonna be
Jennifer-
very
beautiful.
happy there.
Jen's like I am. Her and I are alike when it comes to dogs. She knows how to handle them. She knows how to raise them. So do I.
Yeah,
Because I've been doing it. I've been doing it for years.
you know, that's the thing. Like she said, I don't understand what the big deal is about shaving any type of dog,
Well, huskies you can't.
but
Well,
any type of
today's-
dog.
today's
There's no
topic's
reason
about-
for it.
Well,
About huskies, Cameron. Next week we're going to be talking about aliens and the fact that we are not an indigenous species of the
I had to
planet.
go on a rant. I'm sorry if you were expecting the other show, but I had to go on a rant because of what happened in the last couple of days.
After what we went through the last few days, it's
With I don't know. I guess the most polite way I could put it is a stupid dog owner or ex-dog owner at this point now.
Yeah, and hopefully she won't ever get another dog.
When I met
Can't be
this
like
woman,
that.
she had a husky. She never owned a dog before. She had a husky, and then she was threatening that if somebody, one of my cousins, didn't pay $50
Are you paying
to
attention?
take it to a pound, that she was just going to let him loose in the wild. So I got pissed
Awesome.
off, and I went looking for a home.
Joe.
What?
Molly said anytime. We hunted with Jake today. He loves Major.
Great.
Oh, that is awesome.
You got to pay attention.
Right.
I at least get some of the posts up over here.
But it was
Either
way, it was a huge team effort.
Yes, but see the thing is,
I couldn't have done it alone.
For animal lovers, for especially dog lovers, anytime you have a dog, that dog is not an item to be abused or kicked or thrown around or mistreated. That dog is a part of your family.
And you don't use
Period.
it. And you don't use it against kids.
No.
If you try get a dog just to get kids
Yeah,
to
well, that's like those people that take and they
do
get
what you want them to do, and then say, "Oh, I'm going to take them away if you don't do this." You can't do that.
Oh my
because
God.
That
I hate the people that do things like they'll
That's
get a
crazy.
pit bull or a Rottweiler and turn it into a fighting dog.
Oh wow! You
Yeah,
got to listen to this,
or
Joe.
a pack dog for their house.
Joe, you got to listen to this. Cameron, his cousin had a husky named Darwin and had to give it away. The dog walked back to his house 400 miles twice.
I believe it.
Homeward bound.
I believe it.
No, seriously.
Huskies are all right. Huskies are the most intelligent breed. I'm going to give you a little history
I
here.
don't know about that. They're very intelligent. I don't know if they're the most intelligent.
Yeah, you look it up. I've done my research.
Well, I'm just
All right.
saying. I know
The
a couple
Siberian
of
Husky,
breeds that are very intelligent.
the Siberian Husky can understand up to about 250 commands. The Siberian Husky is the reason why, or well, not the reason, because they can understand so many commands. That's the reason they are the lead sled dog. Now your Malamutes, they're pure muscle. They're the ones that get more of the strength. They get fatter. They get heavier. There's your muscle to the sleigh team,
Oh, yeah.
and that's why you're behind. They're the followers. That main dog out front, that's usually 100% times that's a Siberian Husky out front.
Just look at
Balto.
I was just gonna say, look at Balto.
Balto is
They have a movie out
Nome, Alaska.
about that dog where it saved
Saved
that village.
Yep.
Because
They got a vaccine.
They've also got a statue dedicated to him in that
Because
village.
he led
Nome,
that
Alaska.
he led that dog sled team with medicine for that village.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I'm not disputing the fact that Huskies are extremely smart, but I'm just saying
So
there are other breeds out there that are almost as smart or just
I'm
as
not
smart.
denying that.
The German Shepherd alone is one of them that can give a rival to
They're the best.
Husky.
They're the
Because
best.
the German Shepherd, and not just that, you've also got the Australian Shepherd.
Yeah.
That one is also another
But your
one.
German
because
Shepherds
that
are
one
the ones they
also
use for the
understands
drug
that.
dogs
Yes,
because
they're
of their
the
nose.
drug and bomb and gun and all that.
Yeah, because of their nose.
Yeah, and like Molly said, they're runners. Huskies are
Yeah,
runners.
That's
They
what.
do a lot.
Well, I was
Which
just
means
I was
you
trying
need
to
to have
educate
a
people.
yard or
All right,
someplace
can I
for them
finish
to be able to
my
run.
education here, my little schooling of people here. Here's the thing: Siberian
Yeah, they are
Huskies
very easy to
also.
train. I
Here's
agree with
something.
you on that,
here's
Jim. They are
something-
easy to train.
Here's something about Siberian Huskies that's baffled scientists for years. Siberian Husky is the only breed of dog that can regulate its own metabolism system, which allows it to run for fucking ever without losing any energy.
No, it loses some, but not.
Well, you know, not as
not
fast
normal.
any other dog
I
would.
know, I'm just saying.
All right.
And it doesn't matter.
They're
Everything will
They're
lose
double
energy,
layered,
no matter
dense.
what.
They will
But-
have to
Hold on,
eventually.
let me finish before my train derails, please. They're double layered, dense fur coat.
We're getting you a new train.
It can allow them to withstand extremely temperatures below zero temperatures.
I'm
Okay.
gonna get a little training.
You know, and I really hate people when they see this is the other thing. Since I'm on the temperature thing about their double dense fur coats. This is the other thing. Just because you're cold outside in this time of year, when it's winter time, doesn't mean my dog's cold outside. He likes to sit there, or she likes to sit there, and you know, when I had Nitro, he would make a bed in the snow and lay there, and I had to bribe him to make him come in. Okay, go on.
Tom says the smartest dog in the world is Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg. I just watched a video with him today with Willie Nelson.
And Jen says Betty has already associated the word Starbucks with a walk. She gets excited about her puppuccino.
Yeah.
Cappuccino.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, I can't say walk in this house, and I can't say ride in this house.
Oh
anymore.
no, Joy goes up, and he can't get his.
And I can't get my shoes on or my pants on. If I go from my lounge pants to my pants, or if I go and put my shoes on,
Oh
because
my
I got
God,
the
Joy goes
the
nuts.
Velcro shoes, because you know I'm disabled and my legs are kind of weak. I got every time she hears those Velcro things go off, she comes in there and she starts going nuts. Come on, we're going for the ride. Come on, let's go. Come on.
Walk.
I'm ready, and she'll go running between me and the front door. Come on.
You're going too slow.
Yeah, faster, old man.
Yep. That's Joy.
You got Jen laughing.
That's probably because her dog Betty does the same damn thing.
Oh,
Her dog
That's
Betty,
what they do.
her dog Betty is half husky.
That's what she said.
and
And
just
she
recently,
probably does the same damn thing.
And she said the only way you know is because of her eyes.
And just recently, we went from a full size bed with a queen mattress on top.
We went. Yeah, we had a queen box spring with a full size mattress on top.
Okay.
We went from that. We got a new bed, and now it's a king size, and it's huge.
So now, I thought I
She's
had.
a quarter
Now
husky.
here, wait. Let me finish my train again. Anyway, I thought I'd have more. We just recently got a king size bed.
Molly wrote.
We recently got a king size bed, right? Joy used to lay at the foot of the bed on Tanya's feet most of the time. Okay, I think to help keep your feet warm.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking, okay, now that I got a king size bed, I'm gonna have a little bit more room because I was always fighting for space for these two.
Yep.
Nope. Now the dog decides, oh, there's more room on this space. I can spread out. Belly rub time.
She lays with
Right
her
in the
back
middle of
either
us.
against me or against Joe, and she stretches out her legs to the other one
Yep.
so that she's touching both of us.
Yep. Now she's like right up in the middle of us, right up between the pillows.
Molly had made a comment. She goes, my aunt got a really long zip line for their last husky. Ran the length of their yard and he would just go. LOL.
Yeah.
Pretty much
Oh yeah. Huskies are the best. They make a good babysitter, but they make a worse, terrible guard dog because you know they'll say they'll lay on their back after they meet you. Give me a belly rub and I'll show you where all the valuables are. The old man keeps a secret stash in the basement. I know where that is too.
Now, to get a little bit of technical, for those new dog owners that might watch this later, because I know most of the people that are watching now are dog owners or have been. I looked up a site for the AKC, which is the American Kennel Club.
Association.
75 ways to be a dog owner. Now, the first thing they say is owning a dog is joy, privilege, and responsibility.
You know what I would say? Owning a dog is like having a child. If you can't raise a child the right way, you don't need a damn dog.
So in order to prepare to be a responsible dog owner, one, you need to recognize the commitment. It takes a lot of commitment to have a dog.
know?
Yeah, it does.
Especially a husky. They are very high maintenance.
Stubborn, you know, and they're not the easiest dogs to train in the world either. I mean, they may be intelligent, but you know, they can be stubborn when it comes to trying to train them. So it makes it a little difficult to train those dogs.
Yeah. If you don't know how to raise a child, you don't know how to take care of a child, you don't need a dog.
Shit, yeah, you don't need a dog. You need, if you have, you know, yeah. You don't need
Number two, you gotta
too many of
evaluate
those people,
your
too.
lifestyle. You gotta make sure that you actually have time
Yeah, it's
to have that
That's another
commitment to
thing
take care of a
I
dog.
was saying about
and
a
again,
dog,
huskies
too.
require a lot of attention.
You know, when I got Max, it was just after Gina and I moved into the house over on Silver. We're in there. She knew I wanted a dog. I wasn't actively looking for a dog at the time. She points out an ad that was in the damn paper. Free to a good home.
Most ugliest dog I've ever seen in my life.
Max was not ugly.
Holy shit. He was a gorgeous dog.
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't know
I know
him that
that
long,
pissed me
but
off.
he was not ugly.
But,
it's
so
only because of what they did to his
Gina
tail.
pointed this out to me, and I called the people, and they had, you know, they're like, yeah, well we still have one and everything. And I'm like, all right, I'm in Madison, and it's going to take me a little while to get up there. Don't let anybody take him. I'm pretty, 99% sure I'm going to take him. Well, Gina got mad.
Why?
Because I said that I grabbed Kayla, we got in the truck, and we were going up to get him. And she got mad because I didn't discuss it with her supposedly at the time.
But she's the one that showed you the
But
ad.
she's the one that pointed it out to me. Now, she's a little, she's acting all irritated and pissed off about
Still a
this,
little
right?
psycho.
So, Kayla and I went up. This was in Plain, Wisconsin, out of Madison. That's up on the other side of Coloma.
How many hours away was it?
It was just
Just
about
to
an
give
hour.
people
I got there.
Just to give people
I
an
got
idea.
there in within about an hour, and if
And he drives pretty fast because he drives for a living. Just
No,
to let you know.
I
So that's
don't
about an
drive-
hour and a
I-
half,
I
maybe
don't
2
drive
hours for a
fast
normal person.
purposely. I don't drive fast purposely
Uh-huh.
on a regular basis. So yeah, because of the fact that they were talking about possibly giving him away before I got there and all this and all that. So I got there within probably an hour, and Kayla met him. I met him. He attached himself to Kayla almost immediately,
Because she was a kid.
Yeah.
and he was.
How old was he when you got him?
6 months old.
Okay.
He was 6 months old when we got
I
him.
knew he was young because you got him as a puppy.
And took me a week, and I had him housebroken.
Wow.
And I used the method that I told you guys to use, that you didn't use until after you pretty much exhausted
Well,
everything.
Joy had kind of a problem
Yeah,
when we
Joy
first
was
got her.
also a bit of a rescue dog too, so she was kind of.
I know
abused and
this.
neglected
I know
beforehand.
this.
You know that. You were
I
there.
know this. I was there. So, but when I got back with Max,
Tell him what they did to Max's tail and how
Oh,
great he was.
that pissed me off. Max was a Rottweiler Labrador mix, and he
Beautiful coat.
he
He
had
had some
the
unique
brindle
colors.
he had the brindle coloring. Okay, and these idiots cropped his tail, and they did it wrong. And you could tell they did it wrong because if you had touched the end of his tail, he had yelped, and it caused him some pain.
That's because his nerve endings were still there. Mm.
So I was a little upset about that, but because of the fact that when we showed up, they had a 6x6 kennel out front, and that's where they had the 3 dogs at. They had Max, his brother, and his sister. They'd already gotten rid of his brother. They'd already given his brother away. I'm like, no, this ain't gonna fly
That's
with
too
me.
small.
Max came with me. Kayla and I brought him home. When we got home, now mind you, Gina was having her little issue.
Yeah,
We get home.
that was a polite way of putting it.
We get home, and she'd already went to the pet store and bought a dish. bought him a water dish, a food dish, a big bag of food, some toys, a leash, a collar, everything that a dog would.
And he became a pretty big dog too.
Well, he was a big dog when he was 6 months old too.
I know, but he was bigger than I thought he'd get.
But he wound up immediately attaching himself to Gina. Now, he wound up being more Gina and Kayla's dog. He seen me as he seen me as alpha, of course, because it's not he's.
Oh, geez. Poor dog.
Oh, they're a jealous breed. Nice. But anyway, when it came to me, he didn't try to protect me much anything because he knew I was able to take care of myself. And I don't know if you remember this. That one time I had that party and we were outside out back in the barbecue, and Woody made Kayla holler. And do you remember Max going after Woody?
No, that was a long time ago.
Max
went after
he went after Woody.
That had to have been around the time that Dwayne, Woody was living with Dwayne over there and building the garage, building the attic and the garage.
We're over at my place and
that was quite a while ago. That's like
Woody.
That was like 18 years ago, man. That was like 18 fucking years ago, man.
Woody would always pick at the girls.
Look at what he did
he'd
to
always
Ashley and what she did.
Oh yeah, Ashley bit him. True blood too.
But he would always pick at the
That's
kids.
a story for another day.
Well, he did. He picked at Kayla and she screamed.
All right, wait a minute.
And that was it.
Hold on.
Max was by me at the time, and he went straight after Woody.
In full attack mode.
And I had no fucking catch him.
Otherwise, Woody would have been down with the dog on top of him.
Possibly, yeah, because he made his
I'd go over there and damn
his
dog.
little girl scream.
Yep.
That dog
Don't
almost
do
knocked
that.
me over every time I'd go over there, though.
Like I said, I didn't know him that long.
Anyway.
Yeah, he was a beautiful dog.
But wait a minute. I got an issue about. Wait a minute. Hold on. Something you said I got an issue with. You said he always he wasn't the only one that picked on the kids.
Well,
that's
not
you,
what I'm
me
getting at.
and Dwayne were also guilty of that
I know.
too.
That wasn't what I was
I
getting
know.
at.
I know.
That's the story.
But I'm just saying, you made it sound like
Because-
he was the only one that went around picking on the kids.
But just the fact that he made Kayla scream like that, and I mean Max literally he didn't
That's
growl,
because
he didn't bark,
she
he didn't
was
do anything. He went straight. It was like straight, just laser focused, and he went straight for Woody.
That's because dogs.
He got himself between Woody and Kayla, and
That's what happens to dogs that become a family member instead of just a dog.
Max would have protected Kayla and Gina with his life. Period. Me, he would have sat back and said, "Let's see what Dad can do."
Yeah. Should have sat back and watched and said, "You're on your own, fucker. I'm going to sit here and have some popcorn and enjoy the show."
Exactly. That was kind of Max's attitude with me. But the thing is, like I said, it took me a week to potty train him. I used the roll-up newspaper method. 1 week, he always asked to go out. He never fucking went poop or pee in the floor ever after that.
But it's just it pisses me off when I see people and how they treat dogs badly sometimes.
Well, that's the thing,
and that's why this whole thing started.
If you're using a newspaper like that, you take the newspaper, you roll it up.
I know you
roll it up loosely, and all you're doing is making you're making yourself a funnel that makes noise.
And that's basically what it is.
It's not hurting.
The noise.
It's not hurting them.
It's not the newspaper itself. It's the noise.
It's like a little tap, but it makes noise, and that's what it is. You're associating that noise with that little tap for doing wrong.
But I had to go through stages with her.
But you also take treats and have treats in your pocket. So when they do good, then you reward them for doing good.
Yeah, but Joy was a little finicky. She was a different type of dog because I had never really seen this before. And I've raised Huskies for a very long time. Almost every dog I've ever owned
I
has
think
been a
I would
husky.
have been
Okay,
successful with her too.
all right.
with
Maybe
something
not.
like that.
She wasn't going in her own yard. You had
No,
to take her for a walk.
She
I
was she was pissing in the yard.
Yeah.
But she wanted
the pooping
She'd
one.
only,
Yeah,
she'd only
she
do that
was
when she'd
taking
go
off
for a
her
walk.
the only way I went through a whole winter with having to take her for a walk in order for her to actually
But I had a feeling,
go to
we
the bathroom.
both came to the conclusion that we had a feeling that it had something to do with
That's not too
Nitro
bad
had
of
that
way
Nitro
of doing it.
that Nitro had that whole yard marked up so much that it took a while.
It could be. That could have.
Because we only got her. How long was it after Nitro passed away?
Oh,
that
it wasn't even 3 months.
we
It
got
was
Joy
3
from
weeks.
Two Color
Oh,
Kennels.
yeah, no, yeah, it wasn't even.
I was gonna say
That's right.
Nigel passed away and I went through hell for 3 weeks because
Yeah,
Joe was here by himself. I would go to work
Now, for
worrying
you
that
people that
something
don't
was
know,
gonna happen.
hold on, let's just not. You people that don't know, Nitro was given to us about it in that first year that we lived out here. Nitro.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Nitro there, he was given to us about a couple months after we moved out here.
Yeah.
My niece Katie calls me. She goes, Uncle Joe, can you take Nitro? And it's only because her dad told her to call me because I've raised Huskies most all my life. Okay, in one form or another. Okay, whether it be a Siberian or a Malamute or a mix of both, I've had them. Okay, so he comes out to me. He was 7 years old at the time. He was born. What was that? April 20th. He was a 420 dog. He was born April 20th because we got his vet records and found out that his birth date was 420. He was a very special dog, and he's not as big as he looks in the picture.
It's just
the angle of this picture. He decided one day he was going to be a lap dog because I was sitting out on the couch on my porch, and he decided to jump up on my lap. But my niece had this dog since he was like probably old enough to take away from his mother, about 6 months old. And I stared him down the first time she brought him over to my brother's house for Christmas, and he kind of squealed or howled or barked, whine. He did that whiny bark that Huskies do. And Katie, my niece Katie goes, Uncle Joe, what'd you do to my dog? I said, I did nothing to your dog, and I was laughing my ass off, you know. I knew what I did. I stared him down and became the alpha male in that situation there. And Nitro, every time he saw me, he came up to me, and all he wanted to do was, he was another example of, Buddy, or Major reminded me so much of my buddy here, Nitro. Now, I got because I finally got into a house where I could have a Husky again, I decided to take him. And my wife did. I asked her, I got to talk to Tanya, and I went, Tanya, she didn't even hesitate. She goes, yeah, we can take Nitro, no problem. When's he getting here? How soon? So it was a big thing. We had a whole big thing, got him here. I got real attached to him real quick because I knew this dog really well when I got him anyways. And one morning, late at night, something just started to happen. He started having seizures, and
it was on the weekend. It was a Saturday morning, and he wanted to go outside and be by himself.
And he wouldn't come in.
He would not come in. I had to force him in. It's almost like he knew what was happening. He knew he wasn't going to last long.
Yeah.
We got him in. He laid down by the front door and wouldn't move. I was laying down there by him. Of course, I was upset because while I was laying down there by him, he started having a seizure, and I know that because of the way his eyes were. His eyes basically rolled back in his head.
It was also because he was a family dog, and it started getting to that hour where we could get him to a vet and stuff like this. And I called I sent a message to my brother and he raced out here as fast as he could with his truck and lifted him up and carried him into the
With
back of the
blanket.
truck.
He put a blanket in the back of his truck. My daughter was
I had
there.
to inform my brother because he was a family dog in my family on my side. My brother was close to this dog as well.
So Dwayne took off with Janice. Janice sat in the back seat with Nitro, had his head on it.
And he
Her
broke
lap.
every single speeding record to the only vet that was open. It was like a 24-hour emergency vet clinic in Madison.
They left. We left. We beat them to Madison, beat them to the vet. We're going, where the heck is he? Joe went in looking to see if he was there when I got a phone call from Janice saying, Mom, you guys need to come back here.
Because they had to pull over 5 minutes away from the vet.
They had just gotten off the interstate onto the belt line, and they pulled off onto the 51 into the park and ride. When she called me saying, you guys gotta come back here, he passed away just as we were coming off the interstate. So I went in, I got Joe, I said, we gotta go. I didn't tell him at the time, but I got him out in the car.
Got him in the car.
I got him in the car and started heading that way, and I told him, Nitro passed away. Right on her lap.
Yep.
So we got there, said our goodbyes. We took him to Dwayne's house. He is right now buried in Dwayne's backyard
With his best friend.
with his best friend,
Argus.
Argus. Well, after that happened, it was 3 weeks, and Joe was not doing the greatest because he was missing Nitro. I started checking out things, looking for a husky, basically. Found this one website for Two Colors Kennel. They said free to good home for some of their dogs. I contacted them, told them the situation. She contacted me back and said that if we come up there, they will show us the dogs and they will have, we'll see if it's a good fit. We got up there. Mark and Lisa drove us up there. It was 3 to 4 hours away
About 3.
from Watertown.
I had my caliber. I threw him in the back seat. No. We took off, went up there, and we had to go through Clover.
It was in Athens, Wisconsin.
Yeah, up in Athens. Probably a good 3.5 hours drive.
It was 3.5 hours or more because we stopped at
Stopped at the Golden Corral in Clover, which is no longer there.
brunch.
They closed it.
We stopped there for brunch.
Stopped there for breakfast, lunch.
Yeah, brunch.
Joe liked it.
So we got up there.
Got up there.
We met the kennel owners, and they showed us the dogs that they had on their website that were free to good home. Which right away she figured before we even got up there that if they weren't going to be a good match because of the dog itself. Which she was right. I mean, we agreed with her. Well, then she decided that there was a few other dogs that she wanted to show us. So we go over to the kennels that she had these dogs in, and she was pointing out the ones that she was talking about. She pointed out Joy. We're like, we want to see her. She tried
I
getting
don't know
over.
about that. I don't think that was immediately because I think what happened here is she pointed out Joy's mother, and Joe was down doing something with her.
She had to let him out, and I was down I was kind of, if you can't see it, I was kind of like down like this, like somebody would, kneel down like this, like
you didn't have your knees all the way down.
No. So I was at their level, and they let him out. Both of them got out at the same time, Joy and her mother. And her mother came over to me when I was down like this, and she jumped on me and knocked me into the fencing behind me pretty hard.
Knocked you back.
She knocked me back, but I mean, it wasn't like like a mean thing. It was like like
Playful.
a playful, happy thing, and I was knocked me off balance. So she knocks me off balance, knocks me into the fence, and Joy comes up, and she wouldn't leave my side after that. So Joy picked me. We didn't pick Joy.
Oh, and that's another thing about dogs too. You normally don't pick your dog.
No,
The dog normally picks you, and that's why when I got up there to get Max and he seen Kaylin and was like right there, attached himself to her, I knew at that point he was going to be our
a good fit. Yeah. But I had never gone through the pain of losing an animal like that ever before, and I'll never, I don't know if I'd make it again.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's one of the most difficult things a person that has a pet can go through, that gets attached to their pets like that, his family.
Yeah, you will.
Because Nitro was a family, was part of that family since he was a puppy, no matter what. I mean, he may have been my niece's dog, but he was part of our family because he was always over there with Katie, because he loved car rides.
Like with Max.
It was his favorite thing. I used to love taking him to Walmart when we moved out here and we had him, because people would come up and just, oh, what a pretty dog. You had a fan club out here. Joyce is bigger, though.
That's only because there's more kids here now.
Yeah, it's only because there's more kids here now, and Joy's been here longer now. Almost, not quite. Almost about the same time Nitro was here.
6 months old, he lived to be 12, and then he got Cushing's disease.
Well, we don't know exactly what Nitro passed away.
Well, it wasn't. I'll guarantee you what Nitro had wasn't Cushing's.
No,
but
we have found out that there have been.
Yeah, I've been reading a lot of that on the internet lately.
More huskies that have died that way, and that young. Because he was only 9 years old. He was too young.
Typically a husky will live to be about 15 years old. Now, here's the other thing. I do want to make one little comment about all of this.
And we're going to have to wrap it up.
Before we wrap it up, it's a small concept, because we were right at that point about how we got Joy. Okay. And also the reason when we got Joy, during that road trip with this asshole, him and I were in the front seat doing our normal little bitching at each other, twat, waffle, cunt, slut, whatever, we had these two laughing in the back seat. We'd start talking about politics or talking about this together in the front seat. We had my wife Tanya and his girlfriend Lisa, we had them in the back seat in stitches, laughing their asses off. We weren't sure if they were going to piss their pants or what. And I don't know which one of them said it, but somebody said that we should have brought something along or started recording all of this right away. And that's what brought us to the concept of doing what we're doing right now, is because we got Joy.
It wasn't just because.
No, but that's where it started.
Yeah, kind of did.
I mean, we've been doing this ranting and raving together back and forth and cracking people up back to Union Cab days.
Yep.
When we met at Union Cab, nobody was safe there. But I mean, that was the first time.
Many times, and I'll say it again.
That was the first time.
Equal opportunist picker. I don't care who the fuck
we
you are.
We thought about doing something like it before, but that was the first time that we actually took initiative and did something about it.
That's because
I started doing the shows because we went audio. I mean, we were talking about it for a long time before that.
I actually kind of pushed you.
But we got it going, so here we are. Now to wrap it up, we are Utterly Insane Productions. This was the Insane Asylum, so check us out at utterlyinsaneproductions.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube. And until next time.
Next week's show should be very interesting. It's a topic that Tom.
Yeah, we're going to do your topic next week, Tom, if you're still listening.
So.
And for those new dog owners, to finish reading the list that I started, you can go to the AKC website, which is akc.org, and just check it out before you go and get a dog. That way you know exactly what you're doing.
And do a little research into the breed, too, before you get a breed.
Right.
That's what it says.
Best way to say it is this. If you're going to be a new dog owner and you haven't owned a specific kind of dog that you're looking at, always research it. Always look into it. Because if you don't, then you might be in for a huge surprise. So, all right, guys. Thanks for watching us. like we said, we're gonna use Tom's topic
Yeah,
about
next
the
week
alien
we're gonna
thing.
find out if he's an alien or not.
Oh, I am an alien. Ash just joined. We're finishing up.
All right. And
Oh,
by the way,
Tom just joined too.
this show will be edited and also put up on YouTube. If you need
Bye,
to.
Ash. Bye, Ash.
Bye, Ash. Bye,
Bye,
Ash.
Ashley. Love ya, Dad. Bye.
So, all right, guys.
Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah,
for
thank you all
watching
for
now.
watching. See you next
See you
week.
again next
Stay
week.
safe and have a good.
Oh, be
have a
careful.
good Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and be careful driving. It's deer hunting season.
And the
Watch
deers are
for
running.
deer. They're on the run.
They're all over. All right.
Bye. Peace
Out.
out.